Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am doing a story time video, which I don't usually do on my channel. But yeah, this is just too good of a story. I have to tell somebody because I haven't told anybody this story in a really long time. My best friend who this is about doesn't even know still to this day. But I feel like enough time has passed, like if she found out, she wouldn't care anymore because it just happened a while ago. But oh my god, this is the story of how my best friend went on a date accidentally with my stalker. Not clickbait, totally real. I cannot believe this was just one of those things that I was just like, I can't believe this happened. Okay, so I don't even know like where to begin with this story, but I guess I'll set the scene for you guys. So I went to the University of Iowa 2 years ago, or I started out there. So I did my freshman year there, and I did my sophomore year there. So, you know, freshman year I lived in the dorms, and then sophomore year I lived in an apartment with 3 other girls. I was pretty sheltered, like in high school. Like, I didn't drink a single drop of alcohol all throughout high school. Didn't go to parties, didn't care, didn't have a lot of friends. Yeah. So anyway, when I got to college, I went like totally buck wild. And I was always out at the bars. Like, I loved it. This world was new to me. I loved getting dressed up, doing my makeup, all that jazz. So one night, I was out at the bars, and sometimes you have to pay a cover charge to get into the bars. And I was like, oh hell no. There was a cover at this one bar that we wanted to get into, me and my friend, so I was like, no way. I'm not paying this cover charge of $5. So I'm like, listen, I've done this before. We'll go through the back, we'll wait till somebody brings the trash out, and we'll run through the back door. And then we'll run out to the dance floor, and no one will even know it was us. So I was so out of it that I accidentally led her, instead of the back door, I accidentally went through like the side alleyway door because it was cracked open, which I'd never seen. It was never open before. Believe me, I have snuck through the back door too many times. So I sneaked through the back door, and it leads up to some apartments, but then I go in an apartment, and I like go through the door, and it leads straight to the DJ booth, which was on the 2nd floor and overlooked the entire bar and the entire dance floor. So somehow I weaseled my way not only into the bar, but now I'm up in the DJ booth with the DJ, and he was totally freaked out. He was like so scared because people are not allowed up there. He's like, whoa, what are you guys doing up here? And I was like, I have no clue. I don't even know how I got up here. But me and my friend are up there, and we become friends with this guy, and we exchange numbers, and little did I know, he DJs for like all the coolest people that come to Iowa City. So like, if you're cool, he will pretty much DJ for you. And even if you're not cool, he'll DJ for you. It was just, he's like the go-to DJ in Iowa City. I guess there's like nobody else or something. I don't know. It turns out that like, he texts me all the time, and he's like, he would text me about like who's coming, you know, if I wanted tickets to go see who, whatever. And yeah, I was like, oh my god, this was the best thing I ever did, was sneak drunkly up into a bar. One day, he texts me and he says, hey, like, I'm opening for Riff Raff. Okay, they're not, like, some of them are cool, not all of them are cool. But he's like, hey, I'm opening for Riff Raff, but we need to sell tickets, so I'll give you like $5 for every ticket that you sell if you sell some tickets for me. And I'm like, I'm a broke college kid who is constantly at the bars. I have a makeup addiction, and there's a Sephora about 5 miles away from my apartment, and I have nothing else to do. Yeah, I'll sell the ticket. So I just quickly, I'm like, oh, this will be so easy. So I post in my Facebook Iowa class group Facebook, and I'm like, hey, selling Riff Raff tickets, whatever, for this day, whatever. I get a lot of people messaging me, and they're like, hey, you know, can I have Riff Raff tickets? I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. I don't know why you want to see him, but okay, like, here you go. This guy messages me, and he's like, hey, are you still selling Riff Raff tickets? And I'm like, yeah, like, I just posted like 30 minutes ago, but yeah, I'm still selling them. It's not like Riff Raff sold out or anything. And I'm like, okay, yeah, how many tickets do you want? And he's like, I don't really know. I'm still deciding. I'm like, dude, it's a Riff Raff concert. It's not like you're buying a car and you need to like sleep on it for a few days. Like, why'd you message me if you don't know? He's like asking me all these questions about music, and I'm like, dude, I'm not like a music major or whatever. I'm like just selling a freaking Riff Raff tickets. Like, I was like, if you want to talk to somebody that can answer your questions, like, I can give you the DJ's number, whatever. He's like, no, I don't want to. He's like, no, I don't need it. But yeah, I'll like let you know. I'm like, okay. So I just say back, okay. So then he messages me back like 10 minutes later, and he's like, haha, so what major are you? And I'm just like, it was at that point in the semester, I actually had given up. Like, end of freshman year on all the guys in Iowa City, they're just, to me, they were just like, no thanks. So I was just like, you know, I'm just gonna like let this guy down easy because I do not want to talk to him. No offense, but I was just like, no. So he's asked me, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna be nice to him. So I'm like, oh, I'm a business major. And he's like, oh, no way, me too. I just say back, oh, that's cool. And then he's like, oh, I hope I see you around the business building then. I'm like, I just say, yeah, haha. Like, I'm being very short. He's like, yeah, haha, maybe I will. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So then he keeps messaging me, and he's like, haha, can I like drive you to class sometime? I'm like, no. And I'm just knocking him down. Like, everything that he's, you know, putting up, I'm just shoving it back down. Like, I'm like, no, I don't want to go anywhere with you. I don't want you to drive me to class. I don't want to see you at the food court. Like, I don't. No. I'm just like, no. He kind of like gives up for the day because that was in one day, and then the next day he says hi, and then I'm just like, I have this thing. It's not nice, but I have this thing where I just like don't respond to guys when I don't want to. Like, I just don't respond to them because I feel like sometimes they don't really get it, and I feel like this guy wasn't getting it, so it's just like, I'm just not gonna respond. Maybe he'll just like let it, you know, most guys are just, they just like go away silently. So he messages me hi, and then he messages me hi like every 5 hours. I'm like, oh my god, is this guy gonna get it? So I don't respond again. A few days go by, he keeps sending me hi messages. I don't know how long it takes for somebody to do that, but it was taking an awfully long time to get rid of this guy. So then he messages me, and it's not just a hi anymore. So he's like, haha, I think I saw you today in the business building. I'm like, oh no. Oh my god. Now he knows like what day and time that I'm around in there. It's not like you can like change your classes. It's like halfway through the semester. So I'm like, oh my god, great. Now this guy knows like where to find me, at least at one time of the day. Hopefully he doesn't find me any other times, and he doesn't like follow me home. So I'm just like, okay, relax. He's probably just being weird or whatever. He's probably not dangerous or anything. So I let it go, and then a few days pass, and he messages me again. And here's a backstory. So I lived really far away from campus. Like, I lived all the way down this one road, and several times I was like considering moving because it was literally so far away from campus that I actually did need somebody to drive me. But like, once you live down there, like, you kind of knew everybody that lived around there. So one day he messages me, and he's like, oh my god, I didn't know that you lived in, then he said like the building name that I lived in. I'm like, oh my god. But he was just giving me like, I had this feeling constantly that like I was being watched. I can't be alone anymore. I was like actually really scared. So he messages me that, and I'm just like, okay, this is so scary. Like, I'm gonna have to do something if he keeps doing this. Or if he does one, I was like, in my head, I'm like, if he does one more thing, then I'm going to have to do something about this because this guy is too creepy. So one day, I was at one of the bars, and I was with my friends or whatever, and we're like standing around the bar. It was like the really popular bar. And I see him, and this is the first time I've ever seen him in person, and he's like over in the corner, like, no joke, it was like out of a movie, like how, you know when you see like a creepy person in the corner, like, it like shook me to I was shook. I was shook. It was like he was in the corner, so creepy, like sipping on a drink, but like eyes narrowed, and he was in the back corner, like looking at me, so like the devil. Like, I thought the devil had looked into my soul. I was like, oh my god, I almost screamed. Like, I gather up all my friends, and I'm just like, you guys need to protect me. Please keep me away from this guy. He has been stalking me for the past few weeks. I haven't said anything, but like, he is like, I think he might be dangerous because I just looked into the soul of the devil, and here he, like, what do I do? This is crazy. I was like freaking out. So like the next few days, I'm just like telling my friends, I'm showing them pictures. I'm literally just like, you guys, there is this creep, like, this is what he looks like. He's a total pervert. He is following me around, stalking me, being a total weirdo. Like, no, you have to stay away from him. I'm telling everybody, stay away from this guy. He's dangerous. He's creepy. Gross. Ew. For some reason, it just kind of died down. Like, he just kind of went away, and I was always kind of wondering, you know, like, what happened? Did he find, like, another victim? Oh my god, I hope not. But I'm glad I was kind of glad it wasn't me. I was just hoping that he retired from his freaking creepy ways. But then, I'm on Instagram one day, and I'm just scrolling through my feed, and at this point, like, I followed just people kind of from my high school and, like, people I met in college so far. And I'm scrolling, and I see this girl from my high school, and she has a picture with my stalker. So I'm like, oh my god. Small world, because you're dating, this girl from my high school is dating my stalker who goes to Iowa, and like, I live in Chicago, so I was even considering like messaging her and being like, dude, like, this guy's freaking weird, like, this guy's gross. So then I realized like why he stopped stalking me, because he found somebody else, or he was dating somebody else or whatever. So I was just like, okay, well, if they're happy, I guess, whatever. But so then fast forward, I go home for winter, or it was like a break. It was like one of the breaks. So me and my best friend go out to lunch because we wanted to catch up on like all the stuff that had happened that semester and whatever. So we're sitting there, and she is, let me just give you a backstory on her. She is the total opposite of me. Like, we're opposites attract. The thing about her is that she just doesn't ask you questions about yourself. It's always about her. Always. If you're like that, you need to change your ways, because that is so annoying. But she just talks about herself a lot, and it's always kind of worked with us. We've been friends for a really long time, so it's always just kind of worked because she talks about herself, and I don't really, I mean, it doesn't sound like it now because I'm literally talking about myself the whole time. I don't really care to talk about myself that much. I'll ask you questions the whole time. I could care less if I even get a story in. That's just kind of how it's always worked. That's who we are. It just works out that way. But I did have, like, I usually, when we hang out, I usually can get like one story in, which I know this sounds totally like, what kind of friendship is that? I don't even ask, okay? So I was like, okay, I am gonna tell her the one crazy story that happened to me all semester, because I don't know if you guys have gotten stalked before, but it's like scary, and it's a little bit traumatic. And the fact that he started dating somebody from our high school, I mean, we went to the same high school, obviously, me and my best friend, I had to tell her, of course I had to tell her, and now she like has a reason to actually listen to my story. Wow, this sounds like a really bad friendship. Wow, I'm just like kind of realizing it as I'm saying out loud, but anyway. So she talks about herself for like literally an hour and whatever, and then I finally get a chance to tell like my story. So I'm talking to her, I'm telling her about how this guy stalked me for half a semester and blah blah blah, and like all the things that he did, and then now I find out that he hung up his stalking shoes to date this girl from our high school, and the entire time she is like this, just like scrolling through Tinder. On Tinder while I'm telling the one story that I told the entire day. The one time that I like wanted her to actually listen to one of my stories, she's on Tinder. So I even said I said the name of this guy, and I said the name of the girl from our high school. She totally just like didn't care. In one ear, out the other. So she cuts me off, no joke, cuts me off during my story, and she's like, she shows me, and she's like, what do you think of this guy? And I'm just like, oh my god. At this point I'm really pissed, because how rude. That's so annoying. So I'm just like kind of pissed off for the rest of the lunch. She goes back to talking about herself. So we part ways. She drops me off at my house. I'm back, whatever, just doing my own thing, like on the computer or whatever I was doing. I don't know. And then 2 hours later, she texts me. And I'm like, what does she have to say? Like, I'm pretty sure this girl just talked for fucking 2 hours straight. Like, what else does she have to say? And she texts me, and she's like, I think I'm gonna go on a date tonight. I'm like, oh, really? Like, with who? Or I'm like, send me a picture, because, you know, Tinder is not personality based, really. So she sends me a picture, and would you know, it is my stalker. So I'm just like, I can't, it was just one of those moments where I was just like, I cannot believe this is happening. I cannot believe this is happening. And the fact that it happened in the same exact day that I was talking about this stalker guy. The same exact day. I have to make a decision now. I'm like, I have to either tell her that this is my stalker guy and tell her, like, do not go on a date with this guy, or I can let her go and punish her for not listening to my story, which she never does because she's kind of a self-centered person. So I have to make a decision. And I had not really come down from being mad at her after the lunch. I mean, it was only 2 hours later, so usually it takes me like 24 hours to get over being mad about something. So I was like, oh, really? Like, let me know how it goes. And the thing that just boggled my mind, and the reason why I knew that she didn't listen to a second of my story, is because the picture that she sent me, like, she sent me a few pictures from his profile. I could see that one of his profile pictures was him and the girl I had just been talking about from our high school, which I know she knows who that girl is. So I'm just like, all right, you're such a piece of shit. I'm like, well, let me know how it goes. Like, have a great time. So while she's on this date, I realized something. I realized that I'm pretty much a terrible friend, but so is she. So it kind of evened itself out, honestly. I feel really bad now, and that I let her do this because he could have been totally dangerous. But then I figured, well, that girl that he was dating is still alive, so he can't be that dangerous, I guess. I noticed was that this guy lives in my area. He lives around me. Like I said, I live in Chicago, like the suburbs of Chicago. So this is like, holy crap, small world. So I'm just like, okay, that's really scary that he lives in the same area as us. Plus, my best friend lives right down the street from me. So, like, he's, like, within a few, like, feet of my house, which is so scary. Then, I also realized after I go through this guy's Instagram, so I go through it to, like, check up and see, like, what he's doing. Maybe he cleaned himself up a little bit, and he went to, like, Stalkers Anonymous, I don't know. Scrolling through, and I see that he posted a picture of him and the girl from our high school. It was like a couple-y kind of picture. He posted one of them 2 days ago. So then I realized, I'm not stupid. I'm actually the FBI when it comes to certain things like this. And I would like to be on Catfish one day if Max and Neve need the help. But I'm like, oh my god, this guy is cheating on the girl from my high school, and he's cheating with my best friend. He's on Tinder when he came home, like, he's cheating with my best friend. He's on a date with her right now. What the It's like, oh my god, my head is about to explode because I have all of this, like, secret, case-sensitive information, and I don't know who to tell it to. So I'm, like, going crazy. And, yeah, so basically, to sum things up, my friend went on the date. She said it was the worst date she's ever been on, which is, like, you know, I don't really, you know, it sucks for you, I guess. But she said it was the worst date she's ever been on. But they did kiss after the date. Like, So this guy totally is a cheater. He's a stalker. And he's a creep. And he's not, I guess he had the worst personality ever. And he was the worst kisser ever. So, since he has left me alone, so that is good. And I don't think that girl is dating him anymore either. So, yeah, I guess everything did work out, but how crazy is that story? I had to tell somebody. Like, I have to tell you guys. It's one of my best stories. Like, it was just one of those days where I was just like, I cannot believe this happened. So, anyway, if you guys have any crazy stories that you want to leave in the comments, if it's a stalker story or like you couldn't believe somebody went on a date with somebody else, leave it in the comments. I would love to read those. I love these kind of stories. So, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you like story times from me, then give this a like. And I will see you guys in my next video.